Americans in their 80s and 90s are redefining old age. It's an article that Father David Ross has read. He's going to discuss it. So welcome, Father.
No, I didn't write it, and I didn't write it. Yeah, I read it. It's a great article. It's been published in a couple places, the Wall Street Journal and the Journal of Science and things of that nature. But I just found it fascinating because I do like to spend some time at the Y weekly. So I do my mowing of the grass on Monday. That's my torture. And then I go to the Y Tuesday through Friday. And I found the article interesting because the observations that were made in the article are some things that I found to be true when I go to the Y. So, for example, there are 3 reasons why people go to the Y, or for that matter, from my perspective, 3 reasons why people would go, let's say, to Planet Fitness or some other location in the city that would allow you to exercise. A lot of people go to the Y, of course, to do exercise. They get on the elliptical machines, they'll walk or something like that. The second group of people who just like to go and socialize. Yeah. So they spend a lot of time talking. And so, you know, if they're talking throughout the whole time to other people who want to get their exercise done, it's sort of difficult to do that. But there are some great folks who go to the Y to socialize. And then, you know, they'll put on their outfits, their exercise equipment or their swimming suit, and they'll go to the sauna, or they'll go to the hot tub, the jacuzzi, I think, and they'll sit there and have great conversations, and it's really nice. But then there's the third group of people, like myself, who would love to go to the Y to socialize and to be able to get some decent exercise. I call it my torture, as you know. But, you know, as I told you before we started the show, I wanted the body of a Greek god, but at this point, I've got the body of Buddha, so I just try to get as much in as I can when I can, you know. But, you know, there's this thing today that we didn't have years ago called silver sneakers. If you've got a Medicare Advantage plan, it's very inexpensive to be able to go to the Y, or some healthcare plans will actually pay for you to go there, knowing that if you get some exercise, what's going to happen is your chances of ending up in the hospital or some other facility are going to be diminished. Now, some people just go to the Y and they'll walk around the track. I think it's great. They'll play pickleball or they'll swim. But there's a study that was done in Connecticut that found that most who had lost the ability to feed or bathe themselves, when they got some physical exercise, within 6 months, they really got better, or if not sooner than the 6-month period. Just a wee bit of exercise was going to be helpful. The Einstein aging study, which followed people 70 and older, and I'm in that category, since 1913, discovered a declining rate of dementia in successive cohorts born after 1929. So the exercise actually does help. In another study, higher levels of emotional well-being and lower levels of negative emotions were found compared with younger adults. With younger adults. So, I mean, I just think it's fascinating to be able to see folks going up to the Y. They're walking out with smiles. I mean, I'm talking about my age. I mean, they're walking out with smiles and things of that nature. Years ago, we heard this thing called the gray tsunami. Did you ever hear of that? No. Can you see my hair? Yeah. Whatever's left of it. The gray tsunami. Old age was in decline. People thought my age were in decline, and you know, there wasn't much left for their future, and they're going to sink society, and they're going to overwhelm the Social Security system. Some of them have become true, some of those predictions. But 1 in 6 people in our country, 1 in 6 are over the age of 65. And by 2034, adults 65 and older will outnumber people under 18. Wow. Now think about that. That's not many years down the road. No. My generation is going to be we're going to have more people in my generation than those under 18. So longer lifespans mean that we live with a lot of other conditions. So with cancer, with diabetes, with heart disease. But compared with other countries, we're doing a pretty decent job in terms of the medical community and what we're able to receive in terms of medical assistance in this country. So lifestyle changes that have been proven effective are volunteer work. You'd be amazed at how many volunteers there are at the Y. Do you ever go to St. Rita's Hospital or Memorial and see all those volunteers all over the place? You know, I don't see them jogging, but they're having a pretty good time, and all these walking programs. Another study of 1,600 sedentary elderly people found that of that number, those who walked at least 150 minutes a week lowered their risk of disability and reduced rates of serious falls. So movement is the key. Keeping active is the key.
And then when you're being active, a lot of times you're socializing, which is also probably a good key for that.
I think it's a great experience. I mean, I don't know what I'd do without, well, I do know what I'd do without. I'd probably stay in bed, sleep all day.
See? But you're keeping active.
Yeah, I think it's just great. But to see people my generation there, our generation, to see people out there doing all that stuff is something that's just phenomenal these days. Because I remember years ago when I was a kid, anybody who would be my age would just be walking around with canes and stuff like that. It's a lot different though.
Not anymore. Well, Father, I want to thank you for coming out today. I thought it was a very interesting article, and it's a little, you know, motivation for a lot of us too. So thank you.
See you at the gym.
All right. Well, don't go away because Noon Edition continues in a moment.